Good afternoon, everybody. I am Rotrakta Likitapi Mahadikar, the president of Rotrak Club of Yelahanka, and I would like to extend my warm welcome to all of you for our event, that is Rainbow Rains, on the occasion of National Coming Out Day. Rainbow Rains is an LGBTQIA awareness event which is being organized to educate, to sensitize, and to practice, and also evolve as a society, accepting what once was considered as a taboo. We need to contribute towards the transformation by starting with us and our homes. And we need to be proud of who we are, and this only comes through self acceptance. And now I request Rotractor Sri Devi, the secretary of Rotaract Club of Yelahanka, to go ahead and address the gathering.
Thank you, Likita. A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm Protractor Sridevi Kulkarni, Secretary of Protract Club of Yelahanka. I heartily wish all of you a very happy National Coming Out Day. I welcome all of you for today's event, and I would also like to welcome our speakers, Javin and Shilok Mukatti. We have two amazing guests with us today who will take us with their journey and will be educating us about LGBTQ community. I welcome you all. Without any further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Jaivan. Jaivan is a young aspiring psychologist currently pursuing his degree in Bangalore, who is also currently the Welfare Secretary of Federation of International Students Association, Bangalore. He loves meeting, knowing, listening, and helping people. He says we all have our own struggles, paths, demons, and success. He's someone full of energy who resonates with these adjectives the most: real, open-minded, kind, funny, sassy, and crazy. Now the floor is open to you, Jaivan.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. So I'll just introduce me a bit briefly. So I'm Javin. I'm from Mauritius, born and brought up there. It's been around 3 years I did my coming out as a bisexual, and I'm proud of it. And I'm currently studying in Bangalore psychology, and I'm really into helping the LGBT community, especially on such a nice day, the International Coming Out Day. I would definitely like to help the people of the LGBTQ community, to help them to overcome the social issues we face, the hesitation, and also the connection issue. Yeah, that's it for now. And if you do have questions, I'll be glad to answer them. You can go ahead.
So, Jaivan, can you tell us about your journey? How you explored yourself, and can you introduce about your journey?
Okay, so my journey, it was very, very stressful and alone. I have to say it this way. I was really alone. When I was around 14, 14, 15, this is when I got to know that I had an attribute, that I do have an attraction for boys and girls. I realized that I had an attraction for boys, but at that age, I didn't even know that being bi was something, that you could be an individual who has a preference for both men and women. So it was, and in terms of family and everything, I could not express myself. So I was, to be honest, left on my own to deal with myself and to find out who I was. And for nearly 4 years of my life, I thought I was gay until when I went to college in Mauritius. There I met a gay friend who really helped me out into exploring and questioning myself and exploring more, for which I have discovered who I am. And to be honest, I'm still learning every day, every person I meet, every time I talk to someone or I learn about someone, there is new aspects of my personality which just keeps coming out, which I keep learning every day. And it was very stressful until 3 years back when I did my coming out. But I did not do it to my family wholeheartedly. I did it mostly to my friends. That is my best friend, my sister, and my aunt. They are the people who know about my orientation, and they heartily and gratefully accepted me with an open arm. And this is what every one of us we really wish for and we want and we expect from the people that we hold in our lives. And from that moment on, I started accepting myself as Javin, the crazy guy who just looking for an individual. I'm not looking for a gender. I'm not looking for a face. I'm just looking for someone who ignites me, whatever form they come in. That's my way. So eventually, after coming out, it liberated me to such a level that I'm not afraid to talk about me. I'm not afraid to tell about me, and I'm not even afraid to even discuss or help people, and I'll be glad to because I know how suffocating this can be, how discrimination happens, and how many social issues we face. And in this kind of situations, we need support. So this is why I'm here.
Okay, Javin. And
Ivy, so I have a question for you. So, when you came out for the first time, that I believe that was when you came out to your friends and not your family wholeheartedly. That is
Yeah.
what you had mentioned. So, how did they really react? Were they supportive or
To,
what? Yeah.
to be honest, I was always kind of a guy who had a womanish aspect of my behavior. So people always had a guess, or they always try to figure it out that maybe he's gay, maybe he's bi, maybe he's bipolar or whatever. But eventually, my friends, they were not that shocked. They were pretty accepting and they were very glad that I told them. And I was really, really scared. I was shaking. One of my best friends was in the bus on her birthday, and she had tears and she hugged me and she told me, "I love you. I'm here for you, and I'm glad you told me about it. Now you can live your life like a free bird." And this was one of the best feelings. My other best friend, he was really cool about it. He was eating, and he was just like, "Oh, okay, you're bi. That's fine. You're my friend. We'll still do crazy stuff together." And that's the kind of behavior and the kind of response that every one of us we are expecting.
Javin, I would like to know your opinion on this. So, we recently the government is introducing sex education for adolescents, which is very necessary in schools. So, introducing or educating children about LGBTQ plus. What is your opinion about that? Like, what is the right age to, you know, help children to know about this? Or what is your opinion?
Um, my opinion about this is that the world is really changing. The view of LGBT is really evolving every day. To be honest, in India, it's a bit slow and more progressive, but in other countries, I mean, like in Europe and in America, young children from a very young age, like since birth, they have already been accustomed to the idea that an individual can be with a man, a woman, same sex, different sex. Two men can get married and have a child and everything. So from a young age, if children are already accustomed to this environment, to not an environment, to this reality of life, because this is real. LGBT is a real thing that happens in nature, in human beings, and everywhere around. And even the most straightest people, at some point in their life, they might experience a same-sex attraction. And there's nothing wrong in this because sexuality is a spectrum, and that's what has to be taught in sex ed or even in the general lifestyle of what we are living. Like this is something that we have to normalize that men can date men, women can date women, a man can be both with a man and a woman. That's their choice. A transgender has the right to transition if they do not feel right in their skin. If someone doesn't feel sexual, I mean, a pansexual doesn't feel any attraction without any emotional connection. So all of this has to be normalized and taught, I believe, since a very young age. Like coming to the point of sex education, Sex education, I believe, through the age of 9, 10, and 11 is a bit too far. 9 and 10 is the appropriate age. It's because at this stage, children tend to evolve into adolescence and they tend to be curious about bodies and everything. So it's very important that children need to know what's happening to their bodies, what's happening around them, what different sections or categories of people are there, different kinds of attractions, different kinds of behavior, and to feel free to categorize themselves and to know where they stand, of course. And sex education is a much bigger concept, as in to make people know their image, to make people know their value, and to be safe as well, and for a proper growth, to be honest. So it is very important, and as well as inculcating LGBTQ into their lives as well. Yeah.
Yeah, Javin, I have a question for you. So
Sure.
I assume you're from Mauritius, right? So, you know, when you joined the LGBTQI community there, did you seek any help, or did it help you out in any ways, or how did that really work?
To be honest, I have not been too much into the LGBTQ community in Mauritius because by the time I came out, it was the time for me to come to India. So I didn't have time to like help the community as much as I could have. But I met a lot, and a hell lot of people from the community, and it's amazing. In Mauritius, it's slowly changing, slowly, but people are more accepting of their sexuality nowadays. They are more open for exploration and knowing themselves. So that's something that's happening, and we have regular pride campaigns in Mauritius during June as well. But the thing is, in Mauritius, we are a country which is mostly dominated by religion. And as most of you know, that a religion is, religion do not, not all religion accept and validates LGBTQ. So in terms of pride walks and all that, sometimes there are clashes. Of course, everywhere there is hatred. Everywhere there are people who are constantly disgracing, humiliating, using foul languages and everything. But what we have to always remember is that not everyone can understand us. Not everyone is willing to understand us. Yeah, and compared to India, when coming here, I was very much scared, not scared, but skeptic, because it's very much taboo in India. Most people do not talk about it, and they are even afraid to talk about it. And once they get to know about you, they start looking at you differently, or they stay away from you. But even this is changing. Like among my friends group here, my classmates I have met was very clear about my sexuality, and they accepted me, and they asked me a lot of questions. They were curious. They felt free to know more, and I'm very proud that at the end of the day, they were very accepting towards me and towards other people of the LGBT community as well, which is awesome and which should happen very much more on a larger scale. And in India also, there are social networking apps which are specified for the LGBTQ community. And on these platforms, I have discovered that many, not only guys, but they tend to seek out curiosity, and then it gets a bit awkward, and they don't assume themselves. They are afraid to use the word gay or lesbian. They are afraid to ask even about it, and they should not. There is nothing wrong in it. If you're gay, so be it. If you're bi, go ahead. If you're lesbian, live your life. No one is there to judge you on your preference or who you're getting involved with. It's just a preference. Like I always used to use the examples of ice cream. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like vanilla ice cream. I like both. That's my wish. Yeah.
That's
I hope I
amazing.
have answered your point.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
you have.
Okay. More questions, of course.
Yeah, so there's a question from a retracted Parvati. She's a member. She's asking, when you were introspecting yourself, your sexuality, whom did you look up to? Who did you see as an inspiration?
Like I said, I was in college when I was discovering about myself, and there I met a friend who was gay, and he was very open about his nature. He would wear out his style. Well, when you look at him, you know he's from the queer community and everything. And people used to talk behind his back. But yet I was friends with him, and one day we were a bit alone, and I talked to him. Like I had an interaction. How it happened is, well, I had an interaction with a guy, and this was my first one, and I didn't know how to accept it or even how to process it. So I asked him questions, and he advised me to explore furthermore into it. He told me, if you're not sure you have an attraction towards guy, go ahead and try to talk to a guy and try to get involved with him. If it happens and you like it, you know where you stand. And do the same with a girl. Try to talk with a girl. Try to know what my body likes. The most important thing is how the one's body reacts, how one's body arousal happens, and everything. So it was mostly talking and exploration. This is when I started texting guys, and eventually I willingly had an intercourse with a guy, and I liked it. So from then onwards, I was pretty definite where I stand. But then after some years again, through more exploration, I still discovered that I still did have attraction for women as well and ladies as well. And then this is where I came to the conclusion that I'm bi. But the thing about sexuality is that we learn. Like right now, I know about my preference. That's a good thing. But in terms of commitment, it can be something else. Me personally, I have not been there yet, so I don't know about marriage or life. I don't know how I'll be in a committed relationship with a man or a woman, how it will work, whether it is possible, whether I will be free, whether I'll be happy, whether it will be suitable for me. This is something that I'm still discovering right now, and I'm still learning. So um, this is what it's all about, to be honest. Discovery comes every step. Sometimes you cannot even expect it, and you learn something about your personality. You learn something about your liking, and you learn more about yourself. So, but the best thing is to talk to someone who encourages you, who helps you to figure out who you are, and then through exploration and sometimes stimulation, it helps you to get to the point to know what you like, what you don't like, and where you stand. Yeah.
Javin, we have few questions from our, people who are watching us live on YouTube. So there are
Absolutely.
similar questions from Gayatri Vijayan and Diksha Sethi. That is, how did you come out to your parents, and what was their reaction?
Oh, the thing is, I haven't come out yet. The thing is, my dad passed away a few years back, so I have my mom, but I haven't got the courage yet. I know my mom. I know how she is. I know my family and everything. I know she will accept me. I know she will support me, but yet I haven't found the courage to tell her about it, because we have to realize that when we come out to our parents or people, especially parents, it is a big bomb we are dropping on them, whether it's a boy or a girl. Like if you're a boy and you're gay, you're literally telling your parents that you might not get married to a woman, so you might not build a family and have kids. And same for a girl, that the girl might not settle down, and there is societal pressures that comes in. What will people say and everything? So I haven't come out. I want to, but I want to make sure that I am with her and I tell her everything that she needs to know, and to make sure that she knows that I'm fine with myself. That's the most important thing. Your parents doesn't know, I mean, they don't know about you, how you feel inside your skin, what's happening inside your brain. So you have to try to explain this to them, that mom, dad, this is happening. I'm feeling a weird attraction towards this. Most people will say it's a phase. That's the famous talk, because during puberty there is this famous phase of discovery where hormones are all on fire, and people just tend to unleash this frustration on everything they get. So parents tend to think that way, but the person who's coming out should be able to make this clear that this is not a phase. This is me. I feel this kind of attraction towards this kind of gender. I I need to come out because I want to be free. I need you to understand me and love me. I need you to know who I am, the way I am, and to be able to live my life on my terms and to have my loving family around me. So that's the entire purpose of it, to be honest.
More power to you, Javin. We
Thank you.
have a viewer who has a question and a confession. I would like to read it out. So, how to come about, okay, how to know about your sexuality? I'm so confused. Some days I feel like an asexual, other days heterosexual, and sometimes homosexual. And it's really frustrating to not to know what actually my preference is. So, is there any message you would like to give?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It definitely comes with this with the state of mind that person is, notably Sakshi. So it comes with the state of mind you're in. From the way you have been discussing your issue, it's already there that you are very much confused and puzzled, and it's kind of hunting you, and I acknowledge it. So in this kind of behavior, I mean, in this kind of state, what I can advise is self-pleasuring. I mean, I'm censoring a bit. Self-pleasuring is a very nice way because nobody can pleasure you more than yourself. So when you have some time alone, when you're in the right state of mind, you feel calm, you feel relaxed, you're alone, you're in a nice environment. Let your mind flow, let your mind run. Just see how your body reacts to it. And the different thoughts that pop into your head, your body will react in different ways. Your body will tell you, your head in itself will tell you, oh, not that. Let's change to this. Let's change to that. Let's think of this. And then this is where gradually you find things that arouse you and that attracts you. Okay, but this is only sexually. Okay, not to be mistaken. LGBT doesn't deal only with sexual attraction. It deals with also a lot of mental. So it doesn't mean that your body only is ready. It means that your mind also should be ready. That means in your full consciousness, you can date either a man or a woman, or even kiss, or even go further ahead. Okay, it's not meant to only be enjoyed in a private room by yourself. No. So exploration is very important in this case, actually. So I would advise you to explore different aspects that attracts you, and then from then, no, I mean, your body in itself and your mental will tell you where you stand. And also try meeting different people, try talking to people in the community, and they will tell you I'm sorry, I got interrupted. Yeah. So yeah, I was saying that yeah, self-exploration is a very high step and a very important step. This is where you learn what you like. Then you go on the social experiment level, where you meet people. Like if your attraction toward girls, you meet a girl who has an attraction towards the same sex. You start off as friends. You discuss as friends. Look, I tend to have these feelings. I don't get attracted until I know the personality of that person. Like with talking and expressing, not only will that person also know more about himself, but also he'll be more confident to speak about it and to come out in the real world. Yeah. So Sakshi, I would advise you to take your time, explore what you like, discover what your body responds to, then meet people and go in social experiments. And videos also are very nice. I'm not using technical terms. So videos also are very nice to learn what you like and what arouses you and what is your thing. So yeah.
I hope you got your answer, Sakshi, and all the best for your exploration. Javin, most of our viewers might be new to the topics like LGBTQ. So, in a brief, can you educate us about what is the community and how it works?
Mm, about this, to be honest, I'm still learning about it. I'm still getting into the community and discovering people. Well, the LGBT community is definitely like all the people that make out of LGBT, that is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer. And then you have all the external categories that come in, pansexual, asexual, and all that. So all of these people who tend to have this kind of preferences, we made this community so that we feel secure in a forum to talk, to experience, to share, because we have only spoken about how LGBT has affected me or discovering and everything. There are so many social issues that LGBT people face every day. And last time when we had a pilot edition of the talk, we had a case where this young guy was explaining how he was bullied, how he was assaulted in a camp by his guy friends because he had a particular attraction towards guys. So they assaulted him in his sleep and he was injured. So that's only one of the issues that LGBT people face. We face discrimination and exclusion, homophobia, violence, hatred, antipathy, religion. Religion simply exempts all of those people. So imagine a person who feels they are closely bonded to God. This is their belief. And now they discover that they have an attraction. And the only thing that they have faith and trust in is not even accepting them anymore. They are not even allowed into mosques or temples or even into gatherings. So these are some issues, as well as rejection and drug addiction as well. So the community is there to avoid all of this, to support everyone, to make sure that you have people to listen to you, you have people to help you, to talk to you, and if you're in need of help or assistance, you can freely join us. But the different communities have different aspects. Like the guy was saying that he tried to approach someone in the community, and the people literally judge him on his appearance, and they told him that you're not good looking enough, so they won't help him, and that's very bad. So as you see, there are some issues inside the community itself. This is what we are dealing with, because all these people in the LGBT community, let's say it honestly, they are broken people. They are people who have been hurt endless times on the inside, who have put up themselves into question so many times, who have lost the self-image, who has lost the self-loving, who felt alone, who feels that they have nobody who trusts them or loves them. So it requires a lot of attention, compassion, kindness, and understanding. You cannot be rude to someone who's trying to come out. You cannot just make racy jokes about it, because it hurts people. It's about them. It's about what they feel inside. So that's where the community comes in, and that's where we want to help. We want to help, protect, listen, and promote what reality the LGBTQ community is actually.
Okay, I have another question related to it. So, if somebody wants to join or be in the community, is there any forum or platform how they can get in touch with the community?
There are different ways. There are Instagram profiles, there are Facebook profiles. Like right now, there is this session we are having. So this session is making a community. Right now, we are building a community. The people who are following the talk, the people who are interested in knowing, they are part of this community. You don't have to be LGBTQ to be in the community. You can just be a supporter. And it's not like we are judging. No, just come, support us, and talk with us. Yeah. So that's it. So right now we are a community right here. And they can approach us through many ways. Like right here, they can approach me through Rotaract. They will get my contact. They can message me. I have social accounts as well. They can contact me. And I'm a newcomer on the community right now. There are even more people experienced, like Shilok, who will be speaking soon. She can even explain more about this because she's been in the community for a long time. So there are various ways to approach, but the thing is to know who to approach and how to approach, because not everybody is free for giving advices or even understanding someone. Not everybody is real. And just something to pop up, something that is happening quite a lot in the few years is that LGBT has been gaining more and more spotlight, and people are becoming more aware of it. And it gains more spotlight when a person from the LGBT community is out there. People tend to be interested in that person. They want to know how their life goes, how they live, how everything happens. But the thing is, nowadays, some youngsters, they tend to create that feeling of confusion where they deliberately jump into the community and they just call themselves, oh, I'm gay, oh, I'm lesbian, just for the sake of trending, which is not it. I know people who are not lesbian, who are not lesbian or gay, but yet they pretend to be just to gain attention. And that's not cool, because eventually it discredits everything that we are working for. I mean, firstly, people used to think LGBT is a lie, it's a concept, it's something that people are making just to get away with their sins. But in fact, no, it is something naturally happening among animals, among people, among everything that happens around. So to approach anyone from the community, it's pretty easy. But the thing is to know who to approach and to gain the enough confidence and readiness to discuss about it and to genuinely say what's on their mind. Yeah, honesty is one of the first steps.
Thank you so much, Javin, for such inspiring words. We have our second speaker, that is Shilok. Hello, Shilok. Welcome.
Okay.
Hello, thank you so much. I mean, it's so nice to hear Javin. I've heard before, and it's also an honor to listen again. And the story for joining the late because with my hectic schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Shilok. It's a great pleasure to introduce our second
Heavy
speaker.
grind.
Okay. Shilok is a marriage of celebration and destruction. The powerful feminine energy in herself, which she calls Shakti, is used in many arts. The two important art that she uses to destroy the patriarchy is dance and poetry. The dance form she uses is Atmanatyam. She named it because each move is a language of soul. The poetry she usually writes in her mother tongue Kannada, is trying to create a language to speak about queerness. She is a national award recipient for her radio show Lesbians in the Shadows from Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. She worked at Shunya Center for Art and Somatic Practice as PR and marketing consultant and presently working as a dancer for Chris Leuenberger Production, Switzerland. Recently, one of her poems has been chosen as a syllabus at Kuvempu University. Currently, she is pursuing her master's degree in marketing and management communications at Comets, Bangalore. She has been expertise in talking about subjects like gender, sex and sexuality, individuality and diversity at workplaces, challenges of LGBTQIA plus community, regional queer art and literature movement, and so on. She is also a writer at fortnight column on gender called Somewhere in Between on national newspaper Deccan Herald. It's a pleasure having you here, Shilok. Over to
Sri
you.
Devi, you need to drink water, I guess. I am so sorry to give you so much stress. I mean, like too much of exercise in this afternoon, Sunday afternoon. But I'm not apologetic because the identity that I carry. But thank you for calling me and such a beautiful introduction. I know I'm the one who have sent this. But I wish, why is it, why it could be just simple as I'm a human being, right? I mean, so I don't wanted to speak as a dancer or as a writer or any other, uh, identity that I carry. Today, I wanted to talk to everyone that has an other, fellow human being. I wanted to share my stories and stuff. Um, so like that was my whole career agenda, which Sri Devi mentioned. But let me get back to where I come from. So basically, I was, not biologically born as a woman. So I had my journey to deal, the patriarchal society where people think that being a woman is something vulnerable, and being feminine is, it doesn't make you strong, and it is absolutely big no to be a woman. So in this particular, structure, I kind of had to, struggle and battle to be who I am. Yesterday, one of my friend, a very good friend of me, and she's doing the psychology, and she just gave me a call, and she was like, "Shilok, I wanted to talk to you now. I'm so sorry, like, she's calling me after like 2 years, okay, and like I am so disturbed." I'm like, "Okay, what happened?" And then she's like, "This guy, actually, he's my ex, and he was just talking some nonsense about like, transgender people. Yeah, I wanted to understand like why men do this." And we had a very long conversation, and we were just discussing that why is it so hard for people to accept another human being for their differences. So let me tell you all that we are not in a world. In Canada, we say that Obi Ryan Kala. So we don't live in that, particular time zone, right? We don't live in Victorian time zone. If I have to speak in English language, um, but we are today. We are, moving from a feminism movement. We have been stepped into a neo-feminist movement. So it is where we are so diverse as a society today. So not one, traditional community or one majority community exists or rules the society. So I mean, especially LGBTQIA community, before like 6 7 years, there was no visibility. But today there is so much advocacy going on in the government or in the on the media and stuff, because there's a lot of legal changes and a lot of advocacy is happening over the years. And people do know what is, I mean, they might not know what is exactly LGBTQIA plus community, but they of course know that they are like, other than heterosexuals, they do live. Before that, they didn't even able to accept that, like, oh my God, this is nothing. This is not going to happen. Though we are Indians who have a history of different various queer mythology, the only nation in the country that has so much of stories, I mean, we still hesitant to believe the diversity that the sexual diversity or gender diversity that exists in our society. So coming back to the point, so when I and my friend were discussing, we just came up to that, like, conclusion and the questions around why is it so hard for people to accept, because people don't want to hide today. I mean, nobody's hiding. People are pretty open. They feel comfortable because law doesn't say you're a criminal or anything and stuff. So there is a visibility. So when this is a stand today, I think it is very important that we need to work on to coexist with its diversity, not to fight and make it more complicated. So let me just ask you a very simple question. So I'm not going to ask you all, I'm not going to explain you what is lesbian, what is bisexual, what is transgender. Please do your homework. There is Google. There is a lot of amazing videos on YouTube and so many other things. And you can just, educate yourself, understanding the different streams of sexuality and gender identity, because I don't want to waste my time talking about it. Just to be very straightforward about it, because it's available. It's the information that you can access. So I am here to give you information that you might not able to access so easily. That is some sensibility. Okay. Uh, so my question is, what is this hard thing to accept the other human being who is so different than you? Let's forget about sexuality, let's forget about gender identity and all these things. If you are someone who's well educated, have a fair skin, and like, probably a straight hair and all these things, and so perfect that you think about yourself, and someone who is little lighter skin tone of yours, you're not able to accept it. You think that person doesn't, come under me, or this is completely a different person. You start discriminating that person. Or even in the houses, like, even the very well educated parents make difference to a boy and a girl. How many times, if there is a parents who only had girls, I'm not denying there are amazing parents who are very supportive for their girl children, female children, but there are also families where they tell that I wish I had a son. And this is a dialogue that I hear it every day. No matter how efficient and sensitive, incredibly you are, handling your household, it doesn't matter. So my question is, why is it so difficult to accept a different narrative that you didn't go through? Okay, I understand, something you don't know always has, like, you might fear about it. Okay, but with human beings, or with, because they have a different race, different, sexuality and gender identity, they're not harming you at all. They are not like, trying to physically being violent or mentally being violent. You feel, you have this disgusted face, you make them feel that they don't exist in this society. Why is it so hard to accept? Is it because it's going to threaten your identity, your existence? Because you know that the diverse person that you have never seen, or you didn't allow that person, you've been suppressing. And today, the same person, either it could be Dalit woman, or a black woman, or a Dalit person, or a queer person, or anyone who are ready to come to the stage, to the mainstream where you're standing right now, and stand next to you and work equally what you are doing, and have a same capability, probably more than that. Are you threatened by the progress that is happening today? I understand. The change is something that you need to digest. It takes time. But where is your humanity is my main question. You can't really throw tantrum, like, throw label or tell such unkind things. We all go through so much pain. We all have our own shits to deal, right? But when we know, we are not, unfamiliar about pain. We are very much familiar about the emotions, various different emotions. So we need to think before we hurt someone. We need to think before what exact words that we use. Okay, I am not only talking about LGBT community. Of course, it's so important. That's why I am here. I know that. But I am talking because today it is not only LGBT community. The diversity is not about rainbow flag. The rainbow includes people who are, people with disability, people with so many other different various things, right? I'm just able to give that one example, but there are so many other various different things, right? So in this diversity, we need to look after how do we include ourselves and find love. What will cost you to just show some little kindness to other human being? What is it going to cost you to be just like show the love that other human being deserve? you know okay, forget about everything. What it will cost you to just keep silent when you don't know anything and educate yourself? So I believe that, like, most of the times the mama's boys, okay, I'm telling you, they are these boys are I don't know if I'm going to get threatened after this, but I'm being very honest, and this is my observation. They've been so protected. Okay, I will tell you what the psychology behind this, and they have been overcared so much from since the childhood and stuff, like, the kind of importance that they are given and stuff. But when they are in a certain career level, when they see a woman or someone who is diverse, other sexuality, who is not heterosexual, and standing next to them with the equal opportunity and capability, it threatens their power. Because all they have been pampered all this while, because they were going to be this ideal son, social sons of our nation, who is going to who is to believe that they are going to protect and, like, sanskar and take care about the country's whatnot. But who, I mean, I am not, like, I'm throwing tantrum to all these boys. That is not my intention. So there will be no difference between me and the people who practice patriarchy. So my only thing is questioning about the kindness here. So just understand, when sometimes I used to, when I was in school, like, when my teacher used to make fun of, either from some LGBT community story, like, I think I was in eighth standard or ninth standard when the section 377 in Delhi was repealed, and decriminalized. And so my teacher was talking about these things and making fun of, like, some students, you should marry, you both sit together, you should marry, blah blah blah. And the teacher didn't know that there is someone who exists in this class who is belong to this community, and being so insensitive. Imagine, like, if the same thing is happening somewhere around the corner across the country, somewhere in the village, who is not privileged to access such information, and have this open form, where people can speak, where is not even the language of queerness doesn't exist at all. The only language is transphobia and homophobia and discrimination. And the the person feels so hopeless. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to just show kindness. Okay, and it doesn't matter what person is, until that person is not threatening you, until that person is not, violating you physically or mentally. What's the threat? It's okay. Other people exist, other living beings exist. Let's shall coexist. So I wanted to tell this than telling my story, because my story is like any other queer person had their struggle, being labeled, being bullied, tried, killing myself, which was not successful. Of course, I'm sitting in front of you. But and the one thing that, like, where all this while people can access everything so easily, but people like us, we need to work twice. So, and our success doesn't end just because I got a national award. My journey didn't end because I wanted my family to accept. So I had a puja down right now. I'm just finishing it and coming right now. And my family is sitting today. And, I am with this, the real avatar of me. And it's normal because I, from years, fought to, like, exist in this society and show them that I do exist. No matter what, whatever the patriarchy that you carry, it doesn't matter. I will grow my hair, I will become the woman who I am, and I will gain the respect that I need to deserve. And I might have done so many things, like, you will find it over Google if you type my name, but that is not important. What is important is, am I a good human being? Am I able to accept the other human being with those difference? And also, we need to change the advocacy today. Even people who are sensitive about these things, do not aggressively argue with the other person who doesn't know about it and who's being so transphobic and homophobic. I will tell you what happens, the psychology behind this. When you become very aggressively, like, trying to argue about, like, hey, no, you don't know the meaning of feminism, you, how can you be so insensitive about this gender and stuff, it will make them, you will actually, they will feel that they are attacked and they don't want to listen to you and they don't want to accept you. So you're going to convert them into the different dilemma. So the only way is, like, you need to show them the real pain of, like, any other human beings go through. So there is a new like advocacy that we need to change as well, like, trying to bring sensitivity. I think I will stop till here. I would be happy than me, going on and on, because I've worked as a radio jockey for 3 years and I can talk for 24 into 7. I don't mind, because my life, though I'm 25, I have, like, I remember everything from my childhood. I can keep going on telling the stories. But I will open for questions. If you have, it will be nice to have interactions. I would be very interested to have. Uh, don't think that you will be disturbed. No disturbing questions. I just wanted to open this form for Q&A, because I believe that if you don't know, it's okay to ask. Don't think that you're going to offend me. You can ask anything. I am giving that liberty and I'm giving that complete permission. So let's start the Q&A.
Yeah. Hi, Shilok. So we have one person who asked you one question saying,
Hmm.
have you ever been abandoned by the person you believe the most would support you? If yes, how did you convince them to see things differently? Did you ask them the reason of abandonment? So this was like one of the questions.
See, I have been abandoned by the people I've believed most, like, so many times, yeah, so many times in life. But today I am here where I believe that I don't expect anything in life. I'm standing in that position today because I know that expectations is the result for your pain, tomorrow's pain. So when there is no expectations, there is no abundance. I will tell you this. This is also a different kind of psychology. You always give a power to someone else before you see yourself as a victim. I am not telling there is a lot of very disturbing things happening across the world, but answering this question, somewhere emotionally we also give power to other person. We need to not give that power, and, like, why how when we don't expect with other person or anything, and at the end, whatever it is, it will not hurt me, because even tomorrow that person leaves me, I'm like, huh, okay. At least one thing I have learned is, I've been telling this in every talk. If someone is listening to me again and again, this might sound very cliche, but please listen again. When the whole world is unkind to you, please don't add unkind to yourself, because you are the one who's living in this body and in this soul, who is so familiar than anyone in this world. You can be kind than anyone. So you need to love yourself, be kind to yourself, not to add them. That's it. Hope I answered that question.
Also, there was another question by another person who asked, "How old
Me?
was how old were you when you discovered you felt like a woman, and when you went through the transition, and how supportive were your parents?"
So I will tell you, the when people ask me, when did you got to know, I wish it was a pretty, physically live session. I would have asked you, the same person, when did you realize who you are? You didn't realize. I will tell you, we all have the same journey. There is no difference between LGBT community or to the heterosexual people. I will tell you why. Because we are all conditioned to, you're assigned because of your, physical body. You're assigned and conditioned to behave in certain gender norms. But most of the times it might have gone right. People are heterosexuals most of the time system or force them to do so. But there are some people who have been, conditioned, but they are real self. It do, fight back. Okay. And I think for me, since the very young age, when I could able to understand the world, I pretty much knew I am different. I've been fighting it, but I didn't had a right language or exposure to talk about it. But it eventually happened. See, I come from a very small town and rural place. 5 years back, I didn't even know how to speak English. Okay. So it's like the city really did change me a lot. It taught me a right language to advocacy of my life today. And it gave me an education. Education, I'm not talking about your certificates of degrees and stuff, which is a nonsense. I am talking about the education that you get from meeting a diverse community and coexisting with those community. So I mean that has taught me many things. So at that point of time, it was a time for me to explore myself and finding my liberty and voice. And I think I started loving myself.
We have one question from our viewers, both for Javin and Shilok. Today is coming out day. Is there any message you would like to give from your side?
Javin, you wanna go? Because I've been constantly talking. I need a break. Yeah, please.
I'm sure, why not? But Shilok, first I wanted to say that you're awesome and your point was really, really mentionful and you're right. And it really, really moved my feelings and emotions by what you said. Thank you very much for your inspiring words. If I have to say anything about today, about especially to not only the LGBT people community, but everyone who's watching this video, this live session, or anyone who will be watching it later, we are free people in this world, and we need a bit more love, compassion, understanding, and kindness, because in the end that's what makes the difference. This is what makes people to be skeptic about accepting themselves the way they are. It's about how others view them. So if there's a bit more acceptance, a bit more love, and a bit more kindness, the world will be not only a better place, but as people, we will be much more happier and we'll be able to achieve better. So if I can ask anything, like a little thing from each of you, is if any time you come across people who are from the community who are having difficulties, be a bit more compassionate, be more kind, a bit more understanding and listening. Because like Shilok said, we are not freaks, we are people. Our sexual preference do not define much. We are good people, we have our own personality, we work, we have our families, we have our struggles. We've been struggling all our lives. So it's even better if we can get this from the outside world. And this is what I wished for. Yeah, you go, Shilok.
I love you, Javin. Thank you. Okay, so just adding to Javin's point, I have two requests. One thing I have seen when it is a minority community, you overgeneralize it. Come on, yeah, good and bad people do exist. So don't gender or sexualize the crime scene. Okay, that person is criminal. That person is criminal. You need to gender that. Like if a woman is like, okay, all women, like you just overgeneralize it. But men, you don't do it because that is a majority community. I'm not again talking the difference between man and women. I am so sorry to the most of the men. Please, resist me because this is what is happening across the world, and I need to use this language. Which I am not apologetic, but just for a formality, I'm telling. Anyway, I wanted to tell that like stop overgeneralizing things. Stop overgeneralizing about if someone is doing something bad in a minority community. You cannot just put that to a whole community. Like the good and bad people exist, and you cannot gender or sexualize the crime or many whatever the other things. Second thing, I don't have a message. I have a request. I have a very sincere request for your question that can you build a world where we don't have to make an event of coming out day? Got it? Imagine if we have a world where nobody had to come out, because we are always out and open and very able to embrace the diversity that exists in this nature. If you are sensitive and being accepting and teaching others, educating others, you don't have to teach them what is LGBTQIA community. You don't have to teach them the Dalit history. You don't have to teach them the case studies of the Black Lives Matters. What you have to teach is, can you be kind to our other human being? That's it.
So I have one question. Everybody has one turning point in their lives, which really uh, inspires them or helps them to do something. So, is there any turning point in your life?
Me.
Yeah, sorry, Shilok,
Uh,
the question.
okay, thank you, Sridevi. See, one thing, I have so many turning points in my life. Okay, but if I have to say, today I am in a stand which I believe that I can make anything as my turning point. So I have understood the world so much, and more than understanding the world, let me tell you the magic that I have learned. Okay, the magic that I have learned is understanding myself. If you ask anyone in this world, like suddenly, who are you? Do you know, like, if you question yourself, who am I? You will think 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Probably one day you will be like thinking, because you have never thought about who you are. You have never spent time to yourself. And though you're the same person who's been living in this body and nobody can understand better than you, and you haven't given time to know yourself. The day that you understand yourself, pin to point everything that you know, and you build a confidence, you build, like, you will be the mentor for yourself. And that is the magic that you can create, and that will can lead you that you can make anything in your life can make your turning point. For example, so probably I'm taking a selfie in the morning with my cousin. I never took a picture with my cousins in my life so far, and probably it's like, for the first time as a woman I'm taking a picture, and that is my turning point. I wanted to, try to access more love in my life. What are the other things that I can do? How can I teach these kids to be more sensitive to, people like me? Or it could be about, like, it could be about something, I'm just having a coffee. It could be a turning point, because how I have a privilege to sit and quietly, peacefully have a coffee. Can it be a turning point? Of course, because I need to work. How can I bring others also to have the same privilege to have a peaceful coffee like me that I have in the morning? So turning point and like inspiration, it exists everywhere. If you wanted mentors, it exists everywhere. The only mantra is be grounded and listen. Listen everything. Listen where you are, you're sitting, because constantly we always wanted to talk. We always wanted people to hear us. Like, if you don't listen, if you don't practice listening, you will not able to make others to hear you. Okay, listen and stay grounded, and that is a turning point that I can access anytime. Otherwise, there are so much, probably some next session which will take a day.
Well said.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jaivin, there was a question for you. It just mentioned that I had a friend in my college who I suspected was from LGBTQI community. He was different. I am a person who supports all genders, but I didn't know how to approach a person who behaves differently. So I couldn't really stop people from making fun of him constantly. Sometimes it haunts me and I feel really bad about it that I couldn't do anything. So how can a person do, or what can a person do to show someone that they are really welcoming? So this was one of the questions. I think both Jaivin and Shilok, both of you could answer this, because yeah, it's up to you. Yeah.
The thing is to not point out the differences, but actually accept the person. That's his personality. If he has a different behavior, that's who that person is. So just approach him as a friend or her as a friend. hey, hi, how are you doing? Is everything going fine with you? I hope the people are not giving you a hard time, or even defend those people, like when people are making fun. Stop it. Let that person live. Let that person breathe. Let that person be himself. There's no need to put a label on it. Like Shilok said, if we could live into a world where no coming out day would be necessary, this would be like the perfect world where we don't have to come out. It's not an issue, and it should not be an issue. It should be something very normal that every person come into their own personality, shapes, colors, and that we should all accept them with the flaws and defaults. So coming back to the point of being exposed to a queer person, um, just being a true friend, to be honest. Just being a true friend to talk to laugh, sometimes go out, have a drink or anything. That's all that we want, to be honest. There's no need to speak about it for hours, what we are, what we need, what we want, or who we are. We just want someone who come and talk to us and know us as a human. Like, what's my name? What do I like? My interests, my hobbies. Not who I get into bed. That's not something that everybody should know about. So I think that's my point. Shilok, if you want to add something.
At first, I wanted to tell you I love you. I will keep telling you because you're just so amazing and inspiring, Javin. Like the way you talk, I really love it. And taking from Javin's point, breathe. You need to let them breathe. Okay. So, Sri Devi, have you ever made dosa in your life?
Yes.
Likita, have you done dosa in your life?
Yes, I have.
Saurabh, you also exist. I can see you. So don't think that I will not ask you. Have you made dosa in your life? It's a very special question to Saurabh.
Do like sabzi and all, but I have not done dosa.
See, I knew it. This is a special question. I suspected. Anyways, but do you know Likita and Sridevi? Have you ever wondered you both of your dosa are different from each other? But still you are in the same club working on same agenda. Oh my God, your dosas are so different. How can you work on the same agenda in some club? Yeah, you should go belong to some club where everyone can make same dosa. So what I'm trying to say is why to make it so complicated? It's very simple. Treat other human being as a human being. You don't need to give a special treatment. You don't give sympathy. When you give sympathy, it makes it worse. Trust me, even like, in Kannada, there is this thing, Amritanu ಕೆಲವೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ವಿಷ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So you don't have to like, show those things. Just be human being. That is a very simple agenda. Trust me, all these things I'm telling you, we are making so complicated using all this, so many jargon, so many, philosophy and stuff. The whole answer is to coexist is when we learn to be kind for every human being and accept the diversity that exists, which is not unnatural. It's naturally exist in the whole world. Okay, every leaf could be so different. It might have a different geometry in the each structure and stuff. So accept the diversity and be kind. And see, remove the glasses of gender, race, sexuality, and stuff. Like, see the person as a person. You need to remove that goggles that you're wearing from the begin. Like, the world has given you a goggle as you were born. So you need to remove that, throw that away, put it into the dustbin, which is a nonsense, all the dustbins that you've been throwing. I wish I had a bin in my, like, psychological life. I could have just, put that garbage. Just be kind.
Yeah. Also, Shilok, there's another question to you, which says, what to do when you open up to the family and they do not accept you or you feel insecure at home? And are there any supporting organizations in India? Could you please suggest? Yeah.
There are so many organizations like, which works for LGBT community across India. Okay. I am telling you the day today is not how it was before. Trust me, today, for people who are coming out, who are discovering their sexuality, there are so many safe spaces that exist. So many opportunities. I mean, so many you can be financially independent. Like you will have job opportunity and stuff. It's not so difficult unless you have the certain skills and stuff to access it. Definitely, you can. Just because you're different, you don't have to give a reason that because I'm different, I'm not able to access. No. And of course, there are many organizations which is helpful and which you can, access and stuff. Coming back to the first question, how to deal when parents don't accept it. Trust me. So my younger brother passed away 5 6 years back. Okay, so and at the same point of time I also came out with my gender unintentionally. And for my parents, technically they have lost two sons in their life. The one they have given birth, like two sons they have lost. Okay, and it was pretty hard to digest. I mean, it wasn't easy. So one thing I have learned is this is my personal opinion, and I'm not representing the whole community because it is very subjective when it comes anything about family and personal. So um, and I thought, why should I force my parents to accept me? Because come on, yeah, what I am going through, my parents also going through the same thing, and it is also a journey for me. For me, like what age completely came out, probably 17 or 18. It took me 18 years for me to be who I am, which I supposed to be when I was born. Okay. Imagine my parents who've been also living with those dreams and like with their age and like stuff and who have seen me growing. And suddenly some if you have kids, suddenly if they are kidnapped and other kid they have got and kept it in front of you, isn't it hard to process? It takes time. So I think as a children, with parents, you need to take a responsibility, give a chance, because we do cruel things to the people who we love. We take granted to the people who love and care about us. So it is very easy to fight, throw arguments with our parents and stuff. I'm not telling I don't do it. I do it. Even in the morning I was fighting with my dad, but this happens. That is family. Okay. um but you need to give them, you can't cut them off because they are the real strength. Of course we have an extended family and stuff, but first thing, you need to give them a time to process. It's okay how many ever years, at the end you will be a part of their blood. Okay, it's not gonna nobody can take that. So with even with my parents, I'm still they are dealing with that. um their acceptance, I don't know. I mean, it's very, very gray line, but something is better than nothing. I am pretty okay with it. And at the end, I'm the one who have to accept me. It doesn't matter whether the other person, even it is parents, whether they accept. I do.
Yeah. Also, Shilok, there's another person who's saying, this is not a question. Just wanted to tell you, I'm so glad about the journey you have gone through. The first time I saw you was when you were studying in the same college. Turns out that she's from your college as well. So, seeing you 5 years later makes her feel really happy and proud. Good luck for all your future endeavors. So, this was like one of the
Oh, I'm
messages.
sorry, which college?
I think so, Jane, CMS.
It's very sweet. I mean, I should tell about Jane College journey if I just have 2 minutes. Trust me, I will tell you the difference. When I came to Jane, of course, I didn't study in CMS, I studied in another university. So we were studying humanities, okay, where we study literature and queer theory and feminism and journalism and like talking about social advocacy and so many things. So things were different, and we are coming from different places. Even there were people from other countries and stuff. Very diverse class. The first day, I really was so scared. Oh my God, this is a city, and I'm for the first time. I have never seen city. For the first time, I'm coming to Bangalore, and the first time, there was a lot of cultural shock to where I was processing and stuff. I was so, prepared that someone will rank me, someone will bully me. I was very much prepared for it. But it surprised me. Nobody ever asked, why are you so different? It really didn't matter. So, and nobody showed me sympathy or something. So I think this is what it needs to be, creating environment. Like, it's not about whether I care or not care. What really matters is the person's personality, not what the choices of their life, what religion, what race or something. So yeah. But anyways, I'm sending my love. Thank you so much for, coming on this live session and like, commenting and sending your support and love. Much love. Take care.
We have come to the end of this session. So, if both of you have anything to share or tell, the platform is yours.
I
Sure. You go ahead, Shilok. Sorry.
No, Javin, I've been constantly talking. You should talk.
I have talked, but it's fine. I just wanted firstly to thank the Rotaract Club of Yelanka for allowing me, and especially Ashika, ma'am, to have approached me to help me do this. To be honest, it's the first time I'm doing this on on such a scale. I was really nervous about it. I mean, my temperature literally rose. But I'm really glad I did it. I hope we targeted a lot of people and this has made a difference. And I wanted to thank everyone just for that. And it made me feel awesome, to be honest, to talk about it, to share my emotions, to share my stories, and to answer your questions. And to finish on my note, I'd like to say that if you plan on coming out or even talking about it, people who love you will stand by you. People who are there for you, who truly are there for you, and who stand by you, regardless of your preferences, of your fetishes, of what you like, you don't like, they will still stand by you. They will still love you and they will still support you, including your parents. Coming out to them can be very hard. It will be a shock. It demands time and struggles. But in the end, they love you and they will accept you the way you are. So just be free, be yourselves. Let's normalize this. Let's not make it a big deal. Let's all be ourselves. Let's all love and let's all just vibe and let's live. Be happy, people. That's all.
I
Thanks.
love you, Javin. I don't know. I can't stop telling you because you're just so beautifully, like, the way you speak is so beautiful. Yeah. Really wanted to tell that very
Thank you so much.
openly. But like, also my, heartfelt of love to Ashika. I will tell you, I am actually feeling bad. This event is getting over because I mean, Rotrack has been planning. People who are watching, they've been planning this from 2, 3, 4 months back, I guess. More than that, I don't know. But they approached Ashika approached me like 3 months before. She's been constantly preparing. She's been sending me, oh my God, Shilok, is this right? Is that right? Or like how to talk about it. I'm really like, I really see how dedicated the group is, like, because I understand this is not some token program that you just wanted to do or like just for a showcase, like, just because you want one different agenda for a day. I completely, get, I mean, really respect how you guys were so involved that you wanted to bring change. I mean, there is something that need to be learned by others who does event also, because please, you get, I know people just go for a research that is just, the second hand, where you can just access over Google. No, I mean, it is very important these days because there's a lot of information available. You need to have a first hand research. You need to spend more time to make anything, any event that you wanted to create. And I am so much of respect to the team and much love to Ashika. And the last thing that I wanted to say is I just wanted to remind you that what I have told you, just be kind to a other human being no matter what. So, because it is the time for the world, because we have filled with so much negativity. I wish the day the newspaper doesn't exist. There will be only books will be coming early morning, which will talk about beautiful life, about love and kindness, where I don't have to get up early morning, open a newspaper, where I can see some very, very disturbing disasters happening to the other human beings or the other places. So I hope we have to wake up and end this kind of a world that we are in and create a better future for the coming people. And to be a role model, like we don't have to inherit the negative things that we are being given. Let's bring a change. Let's inherit the good things that we had, and create something sensitive and stuff. And finally, I would also, if some people are not able to ask anything, I know I didn't specifically spoke about my, because I've been telling my stories continuously, constantly everywhere. I've been bored about it. So I want to talk something else. So in case if you have any questions that you couldn't ask, I am available on social media. You can just approach me or collect my email address, which is Shilok Gowda, Gowda, at the rate gmail.com. So just feel free to approach me if I'm free, and whenever I get time, I would able to get back to you. Thank you. And I love you all the people who are on screen and who are watching us. Love you all.
It was indeed our pleasure having both of you, Jaiveen and Shilok. You guys are amazing. In spite of going through things which you guys were not supposed to go through, because I don't know. I don't think there need to be any discrimination between people. Everyone is the same. But I really hope people start changing their mentality and accepting everyone like how they normally accept people, because there is no difference at all. So we are always there for anything you guys want. And it was indeed our pleasure hosting both of you. And I would thank both of you from the bottom of our heart, like bottom of my heart, for, making time out of your busy schedule and being a part of this event. So over to Sridevi for the word of thanks.
Thank you so much, Javin and Shilok. That was really educating and inspiring. Thank you so much for making time and attending this event. I would also like to thank the chair of the event, Protractor Ashika and Protractor Hamsini. Thank you. I would like to thank all the viewers for making time and attending this event. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you.